I'm 29 years old and I grew up in Sweetmount in Dundrum in a family of musicians. Sin Gaeilge bhí Somalia going Eoghan. I studied languages in Trinity and then got a scholarship to go on and study psychology, but I make my living as a musician now. I became politically active around 5 years ago. A lot of this was driven by an interest in mental health. I was studying psychology because I wanted to help people with mental health problems, but it became apparent to me that while therapy and treatment on an individual level is vital, there are also massive systemic issues that contribute to the epidemic in mental distress that we're experiencing at the moment. We need to start tackling the root causes. This means tackling poverty, housing precarity, job insecurity and low wages. After years of austerity followed by a recovery for the rich, ordinary people are still struggling massively. Like a lot of my generation, I haven't a hope of ever owning a home, a direct result of government policies to sell off public land to vulture funds and allow house prices and rents to skyrocket. We're also the generation that is going to bear the brunt of the effects of climate change. The science shows us that we have very little time left to take radical action to reduce greenhouse gases, and yet our government and governments around the world are still refusing to act. Elderly people in Ireland have equally been targeted with pension cuts, cuts to the health service, cuts to their local buses that leave them isolated. Working people generally are also being squeezed. The big divide in our society is between the wealthiest people, the banks, the big landlords and corporations, the politicians that represent them, and ourselves, the ordinary struggling people. What gives me great hope is that over the last number of years, people have been fighting back and have won on some key issues. We beat back water charges, we won repeal of the 8th Amendment, and we won on marriage equality. Added to that, there are growing numbers of people getting out on the streets to protest over climate change and fighting back against the corporate takeover of housing. I'm proud to have been part of these movements. My name is Eoghan. I'm the local election candidate for People Before Profit in the Dundrum ward. I want to be a radical voice on the council that will fight to stop the sale of public land to vulture funds and that will fight for housing for all. I want to drive forward meaningful positive action on climate change and environmental policy. I also want to stop the privatisation of our public services. Most of all, I want to use my platform on the council to help build the grassroots movements that can actually fight for a better world for everybody. That's why I'm asking you to put People Before Profit first on May 24th and give me your number one. Ní neart go Curly Chéile.